It's day 2 of the MAAC tournament from Albany, New York, and welcome inside Q30 Sports pregame coverage of the Quinnipiac men's basketball team. They play tonight at 7 o'clock against the Monmouth Hawks alongside Bryan Schwartz. I'm MJ Baird and Bryan. We'd be remiss if we talked about Quinnipiac men's basketball without talking about number 1, Cameron Young. I mean, he's so important to this team, but specific to tonight's game, what impact do you expect him to have?
Oh, he's number 1 on the court, he's number 1 on his uniform, and number 1 means everything to Cam Young because he is the Quinnipiac number 1 option. And Quinnipiac would not be the same without Cam Young. If they did not have him on the court tonight, they would have no shot against Monmouth. He's the leading scorer on the team. He's the leading scorer in the MAAC, and Quinnipiac rolls by Cam Young, and they need him to win this game.
And you talk about Cam Young, their best player on the court, but there's also someone who's very important that doesn't exactly get the chance to play, and that is head coach Baker Dunleavy. He's in his 2nd season now, kind of a been here, done that kind of thing here in Albany. So what can you expect out of him now his 2nd go-around?
Well, in his first go-around, he lost to Fairfield in the MAAC semifinals last season. This is his 2nd go-around, and he's got a lot more experience under his belt, and not only for himself and his coaching staff in their 2nd year with Quinnipiac, but a lot of players too, with Rich Kelly, Jacob Bergoni, even Cam Young in his 2nd full season playing. This team has more experience now, and they're ready to go, and they're ready to win.
And the Bobcats have the Monmouth Hawks today, so what's the outlook look like for the Hawks?
Well, Monmouth is a good team in the MAAC. They started off really bad to start the year and out of conference play, but once the MAAC season started, this team became a really good team. They are the 6th seed in the conference. Quinnipiac has, though, beaten them twice already. The first game was a double overtime win for Quinnipiac, 89-83. Quinnipiac blew a lead late, but was able to come up with the win in overtime. And then the 2nd game in New Jersey, Quinnipiac was able to pull that one out in regulation. And MJ, the difference in both of those games, 3-point shooting. Quinnipiac is the best 3-point shooting team in the conference, and Monmouth is the worst. So if Quinnipiac can shoot well from beyond the arc today, look for them to get a win.
There's a lot of different parts to a basketball game, right? You have your 3-point shooting, you have your mid-range, you have your points in the paint. But one facet of the game that we see as very important today is going to be that of the charity stripe. Free throws. What impact are they going to have?
Yeah, Dylan Fearon of Q30 Sports last year always talked about make your free throws. And look, we saw it last night in the MAAC tournament. I know they're 2 different teams, but for St. Peter's, Devontae Turner, he missed free throws at the end of the game, and St. Peter's could have won their game. And then Manhattan and Canisius, Takai Green of Manhattan, could have won the game with free throws at the end of regulation there, and he couldn't do it, and then Canisius goes on to win. So Quinnipiac has to make their free throws. They have the best free throw shooter in the conference in Rich Kelly. Cam Young is also a good free throw shooter, so make your free throws and you can get a win today.
They're free for a reason, but there's nothing like pressure free throws, especially with a trip to the potential NCAA tournament on the line. All right, so Bryan, before we go, one more thing I want to hear from you. Predictions for tonight's game. What do you got?
Yeah, we know this MAAC tournament would be crazy. We knew it would be close between everyone. Anyone could win, and we wouldn't be surprised if anyone won. So I'm going to say that this game's going to go to overtime, but Quinnipiac's going to win 77-75. It's going to come down to free throws by the man, Cam Young.
All right, there it is. There's your prediction for tonight's game. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. Check out Q30 Sports for all your coverage throughout the day. For Bryan Schwartz, I'm MJ Baird. Thanks for tuning in.